Well, won't you know it? Wait, is that how it goes?
Won't you look at that?
Well, won't you look at that? We have a baby.
We are parents, guys. We have been parents for 2 weeks. On yesterday, Thursday, he turned 2 weeks old, and we've been parents for 2 weeks.
We missed you guys. We couldn't wait to come and tell you el chisme. Pero last week, we already had him last Thursday when we recorded the podcast. But I don't know. It's just, it was like there was a lot of people here, and then we just se nos olvidó.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. I honestly, these weeks have been a blur. We had planned to film a podcast the Thursday before last Thursday, but that's the Thursday I went into labor, and I spent the whole day like doing exercises and getting in a hot bath and doing all of that. So by the time I was done with that, it was like 3 p.m. and my contractions started, so we had no time to film. But yeah, we did intend, so it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, guys, but we missed you. We know that this audience over here is a little bit tighter, more, more involved, I feel like, because we have more time to contar chisme and everything about our lives. So we missed you guys. We really did. But now to start off with, let's just get right into it, because I don't want to like beat around the bush anymore,
Well, let's just start off with our setup. Obviously, we're not in our normal podcast setup because the room where our office is, it actually has an inflatable bed.
She kicked me out.
Because I kicked Jonathan out of the room. Just kidding. But my mom has been staying with us, so she sleeps in the bed with me and she helps me throughout the night. That's just how it was ever since we came home from the hospital, right?
Yeah, guys, I take morning shifts, so her and her mom, not that they stay up all night, because thank goodness Franco is a good sleeper and eater, so she'll wake like 2 to 3 times a night.
Mm-hmm.
And then her mom obviously wakes up with her, and then I go for the mornings, and he's kind of like sleepy and not really hungry, so, or she leaves me a bottle made, and I can just chill and watch Marvel movies with them all morning.
Yep. And for the longest time, guys, oh my god, a lot has happened these last 2 weeks, honestly, but for the longest time I was so against bottle feeding, because I just felt like I didn't, as I said, I always said that I didn't have expectations. If I couldn't breastfeed, I wouldn't. But you guys, it feels so sad when you can't breastfeed. There was one night where I couldn't breastfeed him because my milk was coming in, so my boobs were rock hard and he just wouldn't latch. Like, he was so over it because he couldn't latch and he was so hungry. So that night Jonathan had to get him formula and a bottle, and we literally introduced him to that right away because I couldn't breastfeed him and we couldn't just let him starve. So after that, I think it took me like a week to recover, and then I was like, okay, well, he needs a well-rested mom in order to like have a good life. So I decided that in the mornings, for his morning feeding around 7 in the morning, I pump milk out so that Jonathan can give him a bottle. So he still drinks my breast milk, but it's just in a bottle, and then I go to sleep from 7 to 10 a.m. and then honestly that's perfect for me, and I feel well rested and I can be a great mom.
Yes, sir. You gotta have a good mom to have a good baby. But I feel bad. I really do feel bad for the moms that have to do this all by themselves. Like, when the dad goes to work from the morning y llegan en la tarde, and the mom is stuck there. And a lot of guys make it seem like, well, that's all they have to do, But like, especially for first time moms, it's like your first time with another living thing, and you have to take care of him or her, and you're stressed. And maybe like her milk wasn't coming out or whatever. And it's like little things that, sure, you're out there like hustling and at construction or whatever, but you don't have to deal with these psychological battles, because your hormones are disbalanced, so you guys are like all over the place.
Yeah, that has been the toughest night for us so far, right?
Yeah.
I think that has been the toughest night for us so far. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like the first night, the second night. No, it was not. It was the third night when my milk came in, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about things like these, but breastfeeding is hard. It's probably one of the hardest things I have ever had to do, especially because there's so many things with like latching, and then the milk letdown is too much, and then he chokes, and then you have to like help him recover quickly, and it's like all these things that I was not prepared for. I felt like I was pretty prepared to be a mom, but not in the breastfeeding department, girl. That was stressful. Like that night we were all up and we were all sleep deprived and we were all stressed out, and I was crying, Franco was crying, my mom was trying to soothe him, Jonathan was at Walgreens at 5 in the morning. Like, it was crazy. And I feel like I don't want to tell you guys to scare you, because obviously I'm not trying to do that, but I'm telling you guys because it's what real life being parents is to a newborn, especially when you're a first time parent and you don't know. And thank God for my mom, because if it wasn't for my mom, I would have probably gone into like a deep hole. I feel like, because
Yeah.
that night was just really tough. But yeah, what else?
No, just that. And I was just gonna ask you, like, to start off right away, like, what has been the best part so far?
I think the best part so far is just like him, like just seeing
Oh.
him grow, because we see him every day, so he doesn't look that different. But if I go back to his pictures, he has changed so much. And just knowing, I feel like the best part is knowing that I'm feeding him and he's growing from it, and like he's benefiting so much from my breast milk. And I feel like that's what hasn't stopped me from breastfeeding, because breastfeeding, as I said, is super super hard. It's like a hard journey to be in. So just like knowing that I'm giving him all the nutrients he needs, that he's going to be way healthier if I breastfeed him, and like it'll helps with like a lot of sicknesses and everything. It's just, I feel like that's the best part, knowing that I'm helping him grow, and just looking at him every day. He's just so perfect. What's
What's
been the best
something? No, what's something you would say has been like unexpected?
unexpected? I think the breastfeeding. That's just, I think that's been the unexpected, because I guess I was naive. I thought it was gonna be so easy, and oh yeah, he's gonna latch, it's not gonna hurt. First of all, it freaking hurt like hell. Second of all, the latching thing, like you have to do. I've watched so many TikToks, so many YouTube videos, and then the whole milk letdown, the whole pumping, the whole when your boobs are rock hard before your milk comes in, because it doesn't come in for like 2 to 3 days. I feel like breastfeeding has been the most unexpected and the toughest part for me so far.
Hmm.
¿Y tú?
Breastfeeding. And what would you say is
Babe, you have to answer too.
the best thing for me has been, yeah, just seeing him grow, because I'm pretty good at, like, I don't know if it's like if I really do notice it, or I'm just joking around, but every time I pick him up in the morning, cuando me toca a mí, I see him and he's bigger, guys, like every single day. He's more aware, like his eyes open bigger and he's getting bigger. He's like, I can feel it in my muscles when he's heavier. So that has been for me the coolest thing, seeing something grow like that. Cause I've never had a plant or a
Yeah,
fish.
you have, but the plant didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
What
So
about what has been the most unexpected for you?
unexpected has been probably like my patience. Like, I thought I was gonna have more patience, but I really don't. Like, not in a bad way. It's not like I get mad or anything. It's like he's 2 weeks old, but like ya lo fastidio mucho tote. Like, I give him, like, I want to play with him like if he was a little kid, like a little 3 month, 8 month year old, and like lo agarro and I kiss his cheeks and I tickle his neck and I piss him off. Like, he can genuinely gets mad, guys. Pero something about me, a toxic trait I have, is that I love to make people mad because it brings out like a cute side in them. For example, Blanca, I love to piss her off because it, like, I don't know, it's like something cute for me. And then now with Franco, I love to, because I love to see him mad and get all red. And I don't know, obviously I don't like to make my homie mad. It's not that, like, that type of cuteness, it's just with people that I love. So yeah.
Pobrecito.
Like my little brothers también, when they were little, I would piss them off. It's like, oh my god, I have to remember he's 2 weeks, and and that he's just a little body. Like, he doesn't know, he has no conscience yet.
Yeah.
So that has
That's
been hard for
crazy.
me.
I feel like knowing that he's so brand new to the world that he doesn't know. He just cries and like opens his mouth waiting for a boob to go in it, and then he just poops and pees, and like he just doesn't know. And the one thing that I always think about, it's like when I wake up like at 4 a.m. and I'm so freaking tired, I'm like, he didn't ask to be born. Like, we brought him into this world, so we have to give him the best life and all the love. So I like think about that, and se me pasa, like, oh, I'm not tired, like these nights aren't gonna last forever. I just have to go one day at a time and like appreciate every single moment I have with him. So I feel like that's what's been helping me throughout the night, especially because at 4 a.m. at that feeding, I'm by myself. Like, my mom and Jonathan are both like passed out, so it's just me and him, and I think that's cute. But that's what I have to remember. I'm like, I have to give this baby like the best life, and I have to start now, because trauma starts at a very young age. So it's just like having that in the back of your head that you have to give him a good life.
Traumatizing him.
Yeah, he's gonna be like,
Just kidding. Nah, but it's all love. What else? So 23 years old. We're parents, babe. How
We're
do you feel
23.
about that? Yeah, we're gonna be
Oh
24.
my god.
Why?
I don't know.
You thought you were younger?
Yeah, I thought I was 22
No, you're
still.
an oldie now.
It's because last year I feel like was a blur, don't you think? What did you say
Like, how do you feel about that?
about being parents at 23?
I feel let me give you mine. So I feel like it feels cool because when I'm 30, he's gonna be 7, and that's prime time right there. I'm in my prime. He's gonna be at sports and stuff, so I'm just gonna be that cool dad, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel good. I like. My mom was asking, well, she asked me something the other day, and I was like, I don't even remember what Jonathan and I did the whole day before having him. Like, do you remember what we did with all the free time we had during the day?
Well, we would work, and then at night I would play video games.
Yeah, but it's like, damn, like all that time, and I feel like we didn't do much, I would say, but like right now we're always like, oh, where's the baby's hungry, oh, rock the baby, oh, burp the baby, oh, the baby se meow, like all of these things. So it's like I genuinely could not remember what we did before having the baby. So I was like, I feel like this is where we were meant to be at this exact time.
Yeah, guys, don't let anyone scare you. Trust me, I used to be one of those people that like, nah, fuck kids, live your life, travel, blah, blah, blah. But then you realize that you can do all that stuff with a baby, and it makes it even better. You know what I mean? Like, why? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm speaking out of which is a negligence because I have two very supportive, mother-in-laws. Well, my mom and her
Oh,
mother-in-law. Damn.
You got another baby mom.
No, but you know what I mean. So maybe it's like it would be easy for me to say, oh, I can just leave them with them and then go on to Paris. Maybe a lot of people don't have that, but like a lot of people are like, okay, I'm gonna have a kid. It's time to settle down. The only way I see myself settling down is like if he's there with me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously I'm not gonna get lit at parties if I have my baby there. I'm not even gonna drink because I have to drive. I'm not even gonna. But say he's staying with grandma for the weekend. We go to LA. You bet your ass I'm still gonna get turned. So it's like, why do people have to like, oh, my life is over?
I just feel like there has been such a bad side to like being a mom, because I've said this so many times, like people get lost in being mothers, and I feel like people think that as soon as you're a mom you can't party anymore. If they see you out like at a party, or if they see you out at a club, they're like, you're a terrible mom, like where's your son? Like, so I feel like people have made it such a big deal to go to parties to still be yourself after being a mom. But I was like, imagine, obviously that's why there's a lot of sad people out there, sad parents out there, unhealthy parents out there, because you lose yourself in being a parent, and then you forget about partying, you forget about going on dates with your partner, you forget about all the priorities that you need to do to give the baby a good life. So I feel like I don't know, ever since I got pregnant, I was like, I will never, like, I have it engraved in my head that I will never be the mom that just loses herself in being a mom, which is already crazy because I know why people do it, because I feel like right now I'm just living for him, because we're getting adjusted barely. Like, he's 2 weeks old, like we've barely been parents for 2 weeks. But it's like, yeah, cuando he's like 4 months and we're a little bit, we have a schedule, we're more adjusted into being a parent, we're more used to it. My mom's not here with us anymore. I feel like that's when you start like going out, or, start introducing him and like letting him be a part of your life instead of making your whole life about the baby. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like, yeah, a lot of people do say, yeah, my life revolves around them, but you have to make it a healthy revolves around them, because if you go to Target every day, like take him to Target every day, he's going to get used to going to Target every day. If you go out on walks with the dogs every day, take him out on the walks, because he has to get used to you going on them, instead of stopping because you're like, I don't want to take him out on walks with the dogs, and then the dogs are going to get sad, and then you're going to get sad, and then everything, you don't have to change your entire life for a baby. You just have to get them adjusted to living your life, which I know a lot of people have told me, like, you're just saying that because you're not a mom yet and you haven't had him yet. But it's like, I can't imagine just stopping my whole life to give him everything, when I feel like he's gonna have a happier life if I just bring him along everything I used to do, except las pedas, of course. But
yeah, I feel like in order to give your son the best life, you gotta continue life. You know what I mean? Like the other day we went to Target, and until we were coming, I was like, babe, let's go to Target, just me and you. Your mom can take care of him and stuff. And until we were coming home, I was like, oh shoot, like for me, I was like, I totally forgot I have a baby at home that I'm coming home to. And I asked her, I was like, Like, how did it feel? It was officially our first time without him. It was only like an hour, 45 minutes, but it was a quick Target run. And she's like, oh, it felt good. I was like, yeah. I mean, it didn't feel like people make it seem like, oh my God, you're going to die. But I told her, I was like, as he gets older and, he becomes more conscious, or maybe he starts to love us more, then obviously going on a trip is going to become harder. I just don't want to like feel bad for not feeling like everyone else,
Yeah, I just right now, like, obviously he doesn't know much, and he doesn't show like his love and emotions and appreciation. Like right now, he literally, like I said, he cries, opens his mouth, and waits for a boob to go in, which I know that he already has feelings, because he obviously like cries less with me than with Jonathan. So I like, he knows who his parents are, he knows like those emotions. But when when we went to Target, I was like, I didn't feel like I was gonna die, but because I knew I was coming home to him, and because I knew that he was well taken care of. So I do feel for the people that have to let like a stranger take care of a baby. I feel bad for people that don't have the support from their moms, or that simply just don't have their moms. I was like, we are so blessed, and I feel like for a reason God put us where we are right now, because he knew that like right now it's prime time where we have the support from both parents, and we just have a lot of support right now. And I feel like this was the perfect time for us to be parents. So I'm so thankful for that. But I do feel for people that have to leave them with like complete strangers, or daycare, or for people that have to go back to work, because every time we've gone to the doctor, to the pediatrician twice, and both times, even at the hospital, they're like, oh, well, when do you go back to work? And I was like, dang, like that hit me. I was like, I don't have to go back to work. Like, I work from home and I can be with him 24/7. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. Like,
or moms, like I'm the only dad there.
Yeah, like moms have to start pumping, and like, their freezer stash, because they have to go to work in like 2 months and have to leave like enough food for them. So I was like, dang, like we are so blessed. Like, there's a reason God put us where we are for right now, at this age, at this exact moment. So
yeah, definitely. You just got to practice being grateful, guys. I do this. I tell myself this all the time. Like, I suck at being grateful. Like, not in a douchebag type of way, but in a like, I want more type of way, I want to be richer. I want to have a bigger house, more cars. But then I'm like, damn, Jonathan, you got to like relax and see what you do have. That's where I need to remind myself, that type of reminder. So yeah, then I remember I was like, I'm at the appointments. It might be stressful, taking la carriola out, and it doesn't want to unfold. But I'm like, damn, like at least I can be here. Other dads, they can't.
At least I don't have to be the one struggling to unfold the carriola. I felt like I was gonna fall because this thing goes back.
Yeah, but I think being young, I think this is the perfect age, 23. Yeah. You're not too young where you're like, maybe you're not financially stable yet, or your parents are gonna be pissy. But you're not old to the point where, people start nagging you. So I think this was a perfect age.
Yeah, I think we are right where we're supposed to be at the time that we're supposed to be. And we're happy. And it's so, like, I feel like people glamorize being parents. But it's so exhausting, honestly. And I feel like, obviously, for the mom, like, Jonathan always tells me, like, why didn't you wake me up earlier? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And I'm like, what's the point? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, truthfully, the baby only eats from me, and I can burp him right away, and then changing his diaper like just comes naturally. Like, why am I gonna go wake you up from a deep sleep, and then now we're both gonna be not rested in the morning? So I just rather Jonathan goes to sleep from like midnight or 1 to like 7 in the morning, and then I go to sleep from 7.
I know 7 has been twice.
For 6 in the morning.
No, 3 or 4.
Babe,
the first week it was 3 or 4.
Okay, the first week. But because now that we're more on a schedule.
But guys, I tell her, I'm like, babe, wake me up early. And then sometimes I'll wake myself up like around 5 and no escucho nada, pues y me duermo otra vez. But supposedly he wakes up around 6. So
yeah, it's just, I just don't think it's ¿cómo se dice? Efficient.
Yeah.
For him to be up.
But I feel bad,
Yeah, but as I said, we have my mom here. And when my mom goes home, then this guy's gonna start waking up with me, and I'm gonna have to have him like help me do this and that. So I'm like, right now you gotta take advantage of being able to sleep through the night, because ya cuando se vaya mi mamá, he's gonna be in the room with me, so there's no way like he's not gonna wake up when the baby's crying, or when I'm like, hey babe, like, can you do this, So for now, I'm like, just take advantage of it, and then when the time comes, like, we're just taking it day by day. When the time comes, then you can start waking up in the middle of the night and helping me a little bit more. But for now, it's like he's just another extension of my body. Like, I breastfeed him, I burp him, change his diaper, and then put him to sleep. And I'm like, in those, like, I just, there's no reason to wake you up. So
yeah,
But at least he wakes up early and then lets me nap.
Yeah. But I would say, what do you look forward to the most, like when he gets older?
I feel like I just look forward to adjusting more and for my milk supply to, ¿cómo se dice? What's that word? To regulate. So right now I'm producing more than he's eating. So he chokes and then he like spits up and then he eats every 2 seconds because he spits up. So he's hungry. He's like cluster feeding. He's hungry 24/7. So I'm waiting for my milk to regulate and for him to be stronger in the sense where he can just like grab my boob and like he doesn't suffocate, because you know how like the nostrils se le tapan. So I'm just waiting for him to get a little bit older enough for us to have a more healthy relationship with breastfeeding. And I feel like at that point I'm gonna be like a pro at waking up and like his sleep schedule and all of that. So I'm just waiting for that, because right now it's so tough, but I'm also making sure that I'm grateful for the moments that we have together. And because he's already 2 weeks old, like what the heck, the time has gone by super fast, but it's also been a blur. What are you excited for, babe?
You like basically talked about a couple months. I meant like in the future.
Oh, well, I feel like we've talked about this so many times. I'm so excited.
But not in front of them, babe.
Oh, sorry, I forget. I'm so excited for sports and for him to like go to school and like for us to pick him up from school, or you know, like when they're like,
Your mom asked me that if I know, I asked her what was the most thing she looked forward to. She said school, when they started going to school, but I was like, doesn't that make mom sad?
yeah, that's gonna be so sad, but it's like gonna be so rewarding because they're gonna go and start learning even more things, and then they're gonna come home. And you know how they have those like, oh, bring your parent to school to read to you day, or like bring your parent for career day. You got scared?
Yeah.
Why?
No, you said it so crazy. No, it's just going to, like, when I went to pick up your sister, there's so many tacuaches and Edgars. I'm like, hopefully my son doesn't like this, you know.
You're gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings.
What? That's how I feel. Like, no, I mean the kids sagging their pants and the haircut like this. Like, it's like it's the fashion. Like, I remember when I was in high school, middle school, it was the cargo pants with the socks and the Converse or Vans, and that for me was like, oh man, they dress so cool. All my friends,
swag boys.
Yeah, my mom wouldn't let me dress like that, or she must be in, like, I would be too embarrassed to ask her to buy me clothes like that. So you know, I'm gonna put mis jeans and pantaloneras, but he's gonna come the day where, like, you know, the fashion when he's in middle school is probably gonna be like fucking crazier. So it's gonna, I'm like, bro, like, but no entienden, you know, it's like, don't dress like that, you're gonna regret it in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I'm excited for all of that, and I don't really, that's crazy, not that I don't think about that yet, but yeah, like there's gonna come a point where he's gonna come home and be like, let's go to the mall, like I need new clothes, and then you're gonna go take him.
He walks into Hot Topic.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, he walks into Spencer's and he's like, I want this. Oh, it's just so crazy to think about. Like, he's gonna be his own person and choosing his own outfits and his shoes and everything. That's gonna be crazy. I think we should just live in the moment and take it day by day. And this is, do you hear him? Like, I was thinking a couple months in the future, and Jonathan's already like when he's 8 years old and going to soccer practice. So this is what we always talk about, is like Jonathan is always living in the future, and I'm always like, baby, just gotta live in the present and like take advantage and be grateful for where we are right now. Because if you live too much in the future, like he said, I got scared today. I was like, see, like there's no reason to get scared until you get to that point, and then he comes and tells you like, I want to dress like this. I just like to be
prepared. Like, what am I gonna say to him? I don't want to say, no, you can't dress like that. I gotta like already think about
reverse psychology.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, if you want to sag your pants, te tengo que dar 10 nalgadas con a wooden spoon before you leave every morning.
Oh my god. Do you guys hear this guy?
Nah, but in all seriousness, guys, fellas, if there's any fellas out there listening to this, just do it. Just get her pregnant. Buy her ibuprofen instead of a Plan B. Give it to her the next morning and have a baby, because it's awesome. Like, people, like, it's so dumb when they're like, why are you gonna bring a kid into this world? It's so jacked up. But like, fuck it. Like, that's what they thought in the 1920s when the Great Depression was happening, World War I, World War II,
the plague,
and they were still having the plague. You think we're gonna stop having babies because gas went up 10 cents? Like, no. Like, come on, have your babies. Don't be scared. Everything's gonna work out. Like, you have a different sense of love, you know. You think I would get these tattoos if I didn't have a baby? Fuck no, that shit hurt like a mofo. But I just kept thinking about him, and I was like, yeah, it's all right.
No pasa nada.
Yeah. So Yeah, but anything else, babe?
I don't know. I feel like there's just so many things that we can talk about, and I obviously don't want to turn this into like a parenting podcast because it's not what we
No.
are. We're Spill the Beans podcast, and we need to start spilling the beans a little bit more. But I feel like this was a little bit of that, like telling you guys
Spill the
spilling
beans,
the beans
then.
about what?
Spill the beans.
You guys want to know how much our hospital bill was? Expensive.
Yeah,
Like,
tell them.
damn. When was it? It was a couple days ago. It was like late at night. I was just talking to my mom, and I decided to log into my like hospital account, and
No, but before you... No, okay, tell them... Don't tell them the number yet. Tell them you went to my room.
oh, um, but yeah, I like logged in, and it said new billing, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh fudge. I looked at it, and like the first one was like couple $1,000s, right? And I was like, okay, no, not bad. And then I kept scrolling, and I was like, oh my god. Like I guess we're
They're
like
not up
different.
together?
Yeah, they put charges in differently, which I still have to call and get an itemized bill because I need to know like where the heck is my money going, right? But then I was like, okay, like I told my mom, and I was like, well, it wasn't as much as I thought it was because yeah, I hice las cuentas. And then I went into Jonathan's room. I was like, babe, like I got the hospital bill in, and Jonathan's like, oh shit.
I was like 30,000.
Yeah, like
25, 23.
but because someone had told me like, oh my god, girl, you don't have insurance, that it's gonna be like $30,000, and I was like, oh shit, it's like that's a lot of money. So then yeah, like he kept saying like 30,000, and I was like no, and he's like more, and I was like no, less, and then he went like 25, 20. I was like no, and it ended up going down to like, you went to 14,000, right? And then that's when I was like, yeah, like close. It was around $14,000.
No, tell them the right number. We spilled the beans
It's
here.
because I can't remember.
It was
like
13,900 something.
800
something.
13,800 something. So please watch the ads in the video. Can you
Yeah,
go
guys, like...
subscribe, please?
Yeah, we don't get
And
insurance.
a lot of people tell me like, girl, why don't you just get insurance, blah blah. Do you know how much insurance is for self-employed people? It's more than $13,000
a year.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah, especially for us. Like it would probably be like, what did they tell us, like $2,000 a month or something? Mm-hmm. Which is a little, well, not more
obviously
than rent,
guys, like it cancels out if I break my leg. It's gonna, you know what I mean? But for someone, I know it's naive to think like this. We're healthy adults, you know, healthy baby. Like, why we don't need it for whatever. But yeah, $2,000 a month for two people that never get sick. It's like, fuck.
And then do you see like the TikToks at the end of the year where it's like, oh, when you have to pay your insurance because you didn't meet your deductible or something like that? And I'm like, damn. But don't worry, guys. Like, we know we have a child now, so we're actually gonna start looking into insurance. Actually, one of the nurses at the hospital told you where to go, right, to look for insurance, because she told us like, yeah, we had to go through a lot of people because it was going to be so much for us and our family. So we're going to get into that, but for now, that's how much we have to pay
every
out of
time
pocket.
before she had him. It was what, $200?
It was $100 deposit, and then they would just bill me the rest later.
How much would the rest be?
It would be around 150 to 170. Damn. But if it was like that, but that was just like for the checkups. And then if we had to do something like the swabs or what else when they had to do ultrasounds, it would go up to like 300, 370. So yeah, everything out of pocket, like that's a lot of money when you think about it. And we had never gone through that because we have never gone to the doctor regularly like that. So it's like, yeah, we do need to get on insurance, but for now,
yeah, guys, and we don't.
It's
like,
hard.
I just want to get us like across your guys' heads that we don't like make crazy money, you know, like it's still like that hurts our bank account, like especially when we would walk in and the doctor, she would pay the deductible, whatever, $200, and then we would sit there and the doctor would be like, so how's everything this week? And they'd be like, good. All right, well, I'll see you next week. And then yeah,
literally,
we would leave
like
there
they
like
wouldn't do
$200.
shiz. I'm like, damn, really? And especially when I started going every single week. I'm like, pa que vengo? Si they literally don't do anything. They just measure you. Okay, do you have any questions? No. Okay, bye. I'm like, yeah. So all this for what? All this money for what? But yeah. It ended up canceling out, and it's like, it's funny because another thing that would happen is like we were going to the doctor, and my doctor, the one that actually gave birth to our son, we saw him like 3 times, right? Mr. Like he would always be like, so you're self-pay, right? And we'd be like, yeah. He's like, okay, well there's Medicaid, there's this and that, and like I feel like he was like, oh, these 23-year-olds like
Mexican sé cómo es, Mexican
que no tienen dinero,
en pantalonera, pobrecitos, homeless looking ass, sin saber que los shirts cuestan Más que, you know.
Yeah, and it was so funny because he would always ask us that, like, oh, well, here are some brochures, and I was like, we don't qualify for Medicaid. He's like, okay, well, maybe like emergency, and then like I didn't know how to get it across to him, like, no, like we just don't because of how much our income is. So they were always so nice, and even at the hospital, they called us and they're like, hey, like, you're self-pay, and we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, well, you know, like there's some options, there's Medicaid, and I'm like, oh yeah, thank you, but we're not gonna be able to do that. So they're like, okay, so just bill you how it is. I'm like, yep, just bill it how it
Just
is.
send it right over.
Yeah. So I feel like it was funny because people saw us just 23-year-olds ahí solillos.
Y pues a mí siempre con el moco por fuera, because they would be early, and I like with sweatpants. So I get it. They were being nice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Pero sí, cada semana, you know. Or like at the beginning, if you wanted. Remember at the very beginning, if you wanted to like keep him, tan armados.
Keep him.
Like at the very beginning, they're like, and you're keeping him.
Oh, is
And
this your
you're
first
keeping him?
pregnancy? Yes. And you're planning to keep? Yes. Oh
is
yeah, because we
understandable.
were Mexican and 22 when we found out we were pregnant. Oh my gosh, yeah, and I feel like there's just a lot that goes on, like, ¿cómo se dice eso? They racially profile you? Is
Yeah,
that what?
racially profiled.
Yeah, because there's like, I was like, would they ask this to an American like couple that came in and were 24 years old, and maybe they were coming from their 9 to 5 job, like bien como secretaria, you know, like dressed up really nice? Would they ask her like, oh, do you want to qualify for Medicaid?
Yeah.
Oh, and then also the other thing that he told us, he's like, do you have a pediatrician picked out? And I was like, no. He's like, where do you plan on taking him? I was like, oh, I plan on staying here at this clinic. And then he was like, okay. He's like, well, I know there's like another affordable one, like like he said, an affordable clinic. And I was like, I was like, damn, like I guess you know, he's old, and like he probably, you know, it's just how he thinks, I don't know. But I was like, damn, like he really doesn't think that we have money.
Yeah, but yeah, I was telling you the other day that racial profiling, not profile, like I told her, I was like, I don't know if it's intentional racism or if it's accidental racism, but it still exists, you know. Like, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was at the dentist the other day, and I went, and do you know how the dentist comes in and checks you and talks to you, and then he basically leaves his assistant or hygienist do the real work, you know, for them to get practice. And there was this old guy next to me, and I saw him because he sat down, and, you know, old white guy, looked rich, porque se quitó su ¿cómo se dice? Jacket, but like suit.
Su saco.
Yeah, su saco. And then like the dentist, I can hear everything. That, like, there's no wall, basically. You can see the other thing, and he was having cavities filled just like me, but like the actual dentist worked on him with like older looking hygienists. They're like older, more, you can just tell when. And then I got like the young white girl, like straight out of college type vibe. Like she was like shaking and like asking me, like you could tell she was new, because the dentist, what's the question that he asked her? And then something about moving, or how the convention went, where like they go when training and stuff like that. And then I was like, damn, like so then I was like, damn, like a lot of people wouldn't think about that, but I'm good at catching shit like that. And I was like, okay, like old white guy gets 3-4 people there with him, and who knows, maybe I'm throwing it out of the water and he had some disease or something, I don't know, more intensive care, but like I get the little newbie assistant.
But didn't you say that the dentist was like, I also tell him like, if it hurts, like just raise your hand?
Oh,
and, like,
yeah, and then the dentist was
that.
like, if anything feels uncomfortable, please raise your hand. And he didn't say that to me ni nada. He was just like, I want this, you know. And then and then I knew she was a newbie. I also confirmed that because I went in 2 days ago, or when did I go?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
And he checked my mouth where she worked, because I did half and half, and he had to like fix what she didn't do good last time. So I knew that she was new that way. So I was like, like, you know, like, why didn't I get the special treatment? And you know,
yeah.
So you can still see it, and same with the doctor asking us cada ratito for Medicaid and cheap clinic or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like we don't take offense to it, guys. I feel like we're just kind of used to it, but it's crazy to see that it still happens, and we're not sitting here like trying to be victimized and tell you guys like, oh, like we feel so bad.
Guys, and I be playing bumper cars at Target. Today, babe, I almost ran into 3 old white ladies. Like, yo no me quito. Because we love shopping at Target. It's not to be bougie or anything like that, but I just like the vibe. I hate going to Walmart. It's such a depressing vibe. Like, even the lights.
Yeah, it
just seems more depressing.
Target is so bright and Walmart's so dull.
And with a little, like, orange tint. And there's no, like, people running around. You know, you can just tell the vibe. But with good things come the bad. There's a lot of like Karen looking people at Target. So son de esas de like you're coming down the aisle y no se mueven las güeyes. So you gotta like push. And I bumped it today when I went. Like the kid stocking the that stocks it. Like I had the big aisle and he was coming through the aisle and he was not slowing down. I was like, fuck it, we're gonna crash. And then he finally stopped last minute. And then he's like, oh sorry. And then I went. And then he like murmured something, but I just genuinely couldn't hear it. But I just stopped and like looked at him, and then ya nomás he like ducked his head. I was like, "Ándale, güey." Like if I would have heard what he said, I would have made a show, but I just didn't, so I couldn't be like, "What you say?" or anything like that.
That's so funny because Jonathan has always told me this. Because I would say I'm a naive person, or how do you call them? Like,
no, you don't like conflict, no?
not even that, but like I'm also very. Because you're like, I'm not
naive.
aware of my surroundings, and like I don't like Jonathan. Like, did you see how that person looked at, or like you know, like I'm not aware of my surroundings. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at. But Jonathan would always tell me like, when we would go to like walk out like at Macintosh where there's a lot of like white people, he was like, do you notice how when we're walking, we're the ones that move out of their way? Like we go into the grass and they keep walking through the sidewalk, and I was like, mind blown. I was like, oh my god, like I have never noticed that that's what they do. Like they ni se mueven pa nada.
No.
They don't even like nothing. And ever since he told me that, he's like, let's make it a point to not walk off the sidewalk and into the grass just because of them. And so now, ever since we started making that a point, like yeah, like they started going into the grass instead of us. But I'm like, dang, like that's so crazy.
Y como que te respetan más.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you make them do shit like that, they even like give you like a smile. And sure, it might be a fake one, pero you know, sometimes they don't even, or like there's so much racism, guys. Like even like when you leave a place, I've noticed that the people that like are there at the entrance, they'll be like, have a nice day, sir, like to the white guy, and then they ignore you when you walk out. And I'm like, what about me? You know, like
why don't you tell me?
Or when you
come
come
nice
in
day?
and they're like, hi sir, can I help you find anything? Or like you go in and ni te voltean a mirar. So watch out for your surroundings, guys, and see that, and don't let them take advantage of you.
Yeah, and be more intentional. Like Jonathan said, like at Target especially, don't move out of people's way just because they don't want to move out of your way. Like just play bumper cars with them.
I literally play bumper cars, guys.
And I feel like in a way that's making yourself smaller, and it makes them feel so good. I feel like especially when we as I said, walk at the lake with the dogs, I feel like when they would go into the grass and say hi or like smile at us, and it's like, oh, like because we didn't make ourselves feel smaller. And it's like people say, valórate para que te valoren, you know. Like you have to make yourself important so that other people take you seriously. So that goes a long way. That goes with race, with anything, like at work, everywhere. So yeah.
And have like a stern voice, guys. Like sometimes I'll put on my customer service voice, and then I can tell the other person's moody or whatever, and I drop it. I straight up drop it. I'm like, okay, then what do you want me to do? And then they're like, okay, sir, I was just checking to say, you know, like that. Like it's always good to be nice first, pero tampoco se me dejen, porque no venimos a este país para dejarnos, ¿verdad?
Yep. No.
Who do they think they are?
And it's funny because I know, how long is this podcast already? 40? Okay. But another thing that I was going to say is that there's a hospital here that correlates to the clinic that's like more affordable. And my mom was telling us like horror stories of this hospital, que el doctor les grita a las girls, like they don't like respect their birth plans, like just things like that. And I was like, how crazy is that like people know obviously that this clinic is linked to this hospital, and it's like more lower income families, and it's like, why do the doctors have to be such assholes, you know, just because you're a lower income person? And it's like, yeah, maybe you can say like, oh, maybe he was having a bad day, maybe that's just how he is, but it's like, no, like you can actually see the difference, especially like coming from that hospital and then going to like the newer hospital where it correlates to the newer clinic, and how they treat you different. It's like, it's crazy because there's still like obviously some differences in treatment, but I can honestly say that at our hospital they didn't treat us like any less than another person.
Hell no.
I feel like we had the best team on our side, and of course that has a lot to do with luck. I consider us very lucky for our hospital experience. But my mom was like telling me these horror stories of like this girl getting yelled at from her doctor, and like not listening to her, not respecting her, and like the nurses not like helping her out and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, like it's so crazy to see that we're in 2022 and like stuff like this is still happening. So you just have to value yourself, and especially if you're out there, like, I thought about this a lot, like when you have to go and interpret.
Interpret.
Dumb and Dumber.
No, it's interpret. I can't pronounce it, but it's
Well, when you have to go interpretar, no, pues ya estamos mal de los dos lenguajes. But when you have to go and help your mom out, you know, because she doesn't speak English.
Translate.
What
the fuck? Interpret is like charades.
¿Y para qué me sigues el rollo tú?
No, pues estoy medio dormido.
But when you have to go translate for your parents, like, just make sure that you're also valuing them. I don't know. Being a mom has brought so much emotions out in me, and I feel like it's just because of my hormones, but you just have to be so, what do you mean? Like, you have to stand up for your people, you know, especially because you know that other people don't respect them. So don't get mad when you have to go translate for your parents, and when you do, just have a firm, stern voice. Don't let anyone belittle
Push
you
around,
yeah. Because we're in this country, guys, and like without us, this country wouldn't be anything. So you have to really like stand your ground and make sure that no one's belittling you.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, I hope that motivated you a little bit to go out there and do better, and just better for yourself. If you don't want to do better for yourself, pues por tu familia de perdido. But thank you guys for all the support, all the positive criticism that we get. Like those nice comments where it's like, oh, not to be rude, but I think you should do this is for his neck and stuff like that. We appreciate stuff like that. Definitely don't appreciate the people that are telling us what to do, because everyone has a different way of raising a child, and that has worked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like your mom might have told you something, but our moms tell us different. So yeah, guys, we love you, we appreciate you. Sorry for missing that week, but we're gonna be back, and hopefully as the years go by, he's gonna be like here and then here and then here.
Oh, and then he's gonna be a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, he's gonna be a guest. Like when he starts talking, he's gonna spill the beans about us.
Oh, maybe not.
All right, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Have a happy Friday. Go kill it. And if you made it this far, guys, $50 giveaway. $50 giveaway. Just all you have to do is comment and like the video.
No Cash App, nothing. You're just gonna contact them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because guys, there's a lot of people that just comment and then put their Cash App.
That's
so
true.
like a huevo, like I feel like that's the way of securing a giveaway, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the video, but just in case I as well. But yeah, comment, like, and follow us on Instagram, guys, because that's where all the action happens.
Yep, and don't forget that we have J&J Vlogs and my channel iblancaj, and we have been uploading there too. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. Please watch the ads and subscribe to all of our channels, because we have a lot of hospital bills. I'm just kidding, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we'll see you next Friday.